Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Cindy Aprilia Putri from IP Class B2, English 5. In this video, I want to present the result of my paper, which I have summarized into PowerPoint. Let me share screen my paper in the PowerPoint first. So this is my paper in the PowerPoint. My paper is entitled The Attitude of UMY Students Towards Online Learning Activities in 2020. Let me explain first of my PowerPoint. This is abstract. First, abstract in Indonesia, even the world is experiencing a situation that cannot be taken lightly because the current condition is experiencing the COVID-19, which is spreading very quickly, namely through physical contact or not. Therefore, from that the Indonesian government took the initiative for the people to be able to carry out independent isolation, and this situation did not escape from education in Indonesia, which requires learning from home. For all schools and campuses, it is mandatory to learn online. In the preparation of the thesis, reviewing previous studies with relevant topics is a research imperative. This is useful for providing clarity on the understanding of the compilers and providing boundaries or research focus to be studied. In this research method, the writer chose a qualitative descriptive method. Qualitative descriptive is one type of research that is included in the type of qualitative research. Then, introduction. Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta, or UMY, on Saturday at the main courtroom of the AR building, Fahrudin held a public lecture for structural, official, and lecture on online or daring. In this public lecture, Dr. Agus Sidarjo, who is the Secretary Director of the Higher Education Research Institute, acted as a research person. The attitude of UMY students must also be questioned for their honesty, how they feel about facing this online learning, and also not only the online material for assignment that will be collected online. Many lecturers from UMY conducted a survey on how their students could understand if the current pandemic condition requires more time at home. This is literature review. In preparing the thesis, review previous studies with topics relevant to research is a must. This point is useful for providing clarity on the understanding of the compiler and providing a limitation or focus of research to be carried out. In addition, reviewing previous studies with relevant topics will also be useful to ensure the originality of the thesis preparation and tilt the attitude of UMY students towards online learning activities. In 2020, researchers have conducted research by collecting and review scientific papers relevant to the constituent themes. First, the journal entitled Online Learning as a Study from Home: Effort During the COVID-19 Pandemic, written by Octavia Ikahandarini in 2020. This research discussed many students who use laptops and smartphones in learning. The ability of a laptop and smartphone to access the internet allows students to take part in teaching and learning activities carried out in the form of video conferencing or those carried out in online classes using learning application service available online. Second, the journal entailed Online Learning in the Middle of the COVID-19 Pandemic, written by Firman and Sari Rahayu Rahman in 2020. This study discussed online learning that received very good responses from students, especially regarding the flexibility of its implementation. This learning method is also able to trigger learning independence and encourage students to be more active in lecture. Unfortunately, interaction in online learning have limitations so that it does not allow lecturer to directly monitor student activities during lecture. Students also have difficulty understand the teaching materials that are present online. The limited communication between lecturer and students through instant messaging application or through virtual classes was deemed insufficient by students. And then in this research methodology. In this research method, the writer chose a qualitative descriptive method. Qualitative descriptive is one type of research that is included in the type of qualitative research. The purpose of this study is to reveal events or facts, circumstances, phenomena, variables, and circumstances that occur during the study by presenting what actually happened. This study interprets and describes data that takes into account the current situation, attitudes and views that occur in a society, conflict between two or more situations, relationship between variables that arise, difference in existing facts and their effect on condition, and so on. Overall, the information was obtained from students of the Muhammadiyah University of Yogyakarta to find out how they respond to online lecture. Then, the author will develop it into a structured description of information to draw conclusion as well as make decisions about data processing. Did the authors make regular presentation of data by making the narrative text of the interview result? The author will verify as well as conclude, and the author will also note the possible order and flow. Findings. Finding the attitude of UMY students towards online learning activities in 2020. Based on the interview, the participants state that they want to study face-to-face again, but due to unstable conditions, the lecture was conducted online. The following is a description of the explanation of students who agree with online lecture. Online lecture are also okay because the presence of attendance can be click person. Participant 3. Given the current condition, therefore I have to accept it well if the lecture is held online. This participant 4. Agree with online lecture for the time being because they can prevent the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. Participant 6. On the other hand, there are also students who disagree with online lecture. The following is the explanation. I do not agree with online lecture because I do online lecture through the Zoom application. My network connection does not exist. Participant number 1. Want to immediately lecture offline face-to-face directly with the lecturer and friend. I do not agree that online lecture do not really warrant that students listen to what the lecturer is explaining. Participant number 2. And this last. Disagree because online lecture make my assignment more difficult because online lecture only sleep at home. This say participant number 5. And this last but not least, conclusion. On the whole, this research explains the attitude of UMY students toward online learning. Knowing from the fact obtained, it can be seen how balanced they are in terms of agreeing and disagreeing with the online lecture. On the UMY campus, e-learning has been provided for each student so that they can fill in the attentions of each course held. The level of student satisfaction is one measure of the quality of learning. The level of student satisfaction using learning can show that students enjoy the online learning process. This is from Journal Prasetya and Harjanto 2020. In essence, this research only provides a few additional references on how UMY students participate in responding to online lecture. This study is a small scale study, so I suggest for future studies to use more participants. Thus, the result to be obtained will vary. This research also uses qualitative method, so it is suggested that future research method use quantitative method. In addition, using quantitative method will involve more diverse participants. from different backgrounds. This will be able to present more than a large amount of data. This is reference about my paper. First, from Hakim D. and Rahman, AA 2020. Thank you for your attention and time for my presentation this time. Sorry if there are errors and unclear intonation. I end with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.